Hello, it's Balbo Brookins, and welcome back to Let's Play King's Quest 6. We're on a boat. Let's look. Let's go inside the boat. Knocking. Yeah, what do you want? Alexander promises himself he will not go home until he's determined what Casima's feelings are for him and if she needs his help. Okay, let's talk to the other guy then. Excuse me, my name is Alexander. The owner of the bookshop in the village told me you might be able to help me. I hear you used to run this ferry for the islands. I'd like to talk to you if you have a moment. You said old Allie sent you? I can't see why. The ferry's not running, you know. I understand. I just like to talk to you about the islands, if you don't mind. Well, I guess it'd be alright if Allie sent you. Just don't just stand there. Come on inside. Yeah, looking through the porthole. What is it you wanted to talk about, young man? I'm a visitor to these isles. I'd like to learn what I can about the area. So you said outside. What is it you want to know? Well, for one thing, why is Island's only ferry been dry docked? Huh. It just ain't safe to sail these days. What with the islands feuding and all, Vizier Al-Hazred ordered the ferry closed till things settle down. Me, I don't think she'll ever see water again. But why are the islands feuding? You got me. Something about stolen property or some such thing. This is a real shame. Things used to be so friendly. Then the unrest is recent? A few years is all, but it's been long enough. Perhaps if the ferry were repaired. This old thing, the ferry's been out of water so long she's no longer even seaworthy. Her boards have dry rot. She'd fall apart at the first taste of seawater. But there must be some way to get off this island. There's only one other way to travel that I know of. A magic map. The owner of the pawn shop can tell you more about that than I can, Alexander. Okay. Tell me more about the ferry. I remember when I used to ferry Queen Alaria and Princess Casima themselves. There was no thought of danger back then. They used to go visiting to care for the needy and to keep up friendly relations between the islands. I remember the last trip. Things had started to get nasty by then, and when they came back aboard, I gathered that the Queen and the Princess had been received a bit coldly. Princess Casima was such a pretty thing, and she was terribly upset. But who could be spreading these lies? She asked the Queen. But the Queen had no answer. Oh, that sucks. What do you do now that the ferry no longer operates? Me, I'm out of a job. The job my ancestors have held for generations. I'm the only one trained to avoid the reef and the rocks, but that knowledge does me no good now. Is there no other boat on the island? One that might be more seaworthy? Boats don't last long on these shoals, as you may have found out if you got here by ship. Yeah, we have a boat. It's in pieces. You might be able to fix it, but at least it doesn't have some dry rot. You can be quite sure that this old ferry is or was the only craft on the island. This guy has a lot to say. Tell me more about Princess Casima. I only met her one time, and I'm completely in love with her. Ah, such a beautiful child, and so pure of heart. Why, a contrary thought has never crossed her mind. Her mother was the same. The king and the queen, they served the islands, not the other way around. Always thinking about the people. Ah, they are sorely missed. What else can you tell me about the land? Let's see, the Isle of Wonder's got a lovely spot. A bit crazy, mind. You gotta have a good sense of humor to enjoy a tour there. Okay, Isle of Wonder. What else can you tell me about the land? The Isle of the Beast is pretty, but unfortunately you can't get very far onto the island. Okay. What else can you tell me about the land? The inhabitants of the Isle of the Sacred Mountain are the most gorgeous creatures you'll ever see. If you ever get to see them, that is. Okay. What else can you tell me about the land? The Castle of the Crown sure is a beauty. She's the finest palace ever built, I'll warrant. I don't know, we got a pretty good one in Daventry. You can, if you have wizard powers, you can just transport it wherever you want. What else can you tell me about the land? Some say the land of the Green Isles is near the edge of the world, and that the deadly currents are a result of the magnetism that sucks life from this world to the next. Of course, that's just silly talk. What else can you tell me about the land? Yeah, we already talked about the Isle of Wonder. You forgot that you said that, I guess. Let's look around. Alexander's sitting inside the fairy's cabin. The place displays the neatness of a seaman and the sparseness of a bachelor. I guess those things go together. There are a few frills and comforts in the rough wooden environment, but the sunlight shines cheerily on the oaken beams, and the portholes admit a pleasant breeze. And there's all kinds of double entendres in this place. You got the ferryman is a disgruntled-looking man who's probably a lot younger than he appears. Despite his tired air, he watches Alexander patiently. You got a lamp. Several oil lamps are strategically placed around boat's cabin to illuminate the island's dark nights. I don't know how everything didn't just catch fire all the time back in the day. It's obviously, timeless because it's in a different place, but, there's oil lamps and fireplaces everywhere and wood everywhere. What's that? There's a rabbit's foot on the table. Seems the ferryman is counting on a little luck. Well, let's take that. I see you have a rabbit's foot. Has it brought you much luck? As you can see, my luck's been out for some time now, despite that old charm. Why don't you take it with you? Perhaps giving the darn thing away will bring me a good fortune at last. Perhaps it will at that. Thank you. I'm glad to have your bad luck. Okay. Why does his feet look like Waldo right now? It's like stripes. I think that's all we can do in here. Well, let's stand up. I'll shake your hand, sir. Well, I think I'll be going now. Thanks for allowing me into your home. Posh, not at all. It breaks the boredom, if you know what I mean. I have a feeling that the ferryman and Ali have a little thing going. No proof in that matter, but, He seemed, if you come here before you talk to the bookstore owner, he's like, I'm never going to talk to you. There's no reason for me to talk to you, but, since we talked to the bookstore owner first, he's all happy to do it. Where's that girl? I want to talk to you. Guess not coming back right now. Oops. Let's go on the bookstore again. Sorry, I'm trying to get something working on the other monitor. Good day again. How may I help you? Oh, here's a guy. I was hoping that he would be in here. Who are you, sir? An odd-looking man is reading in the stuffed chair. He wears a vest, balloon-style pants, and pointed shoes. There's something deliberately silly about this man, although he were a performer of some sorts. Let's talk to that guy. Good day, sir. Is there anything you can tell me about the land of the Green Isles? I'm sorry, but I have no time for idle conversation. I'm too worried about the princess. I don't know if I want God's voice to be that. Let's try again. Excuse me again, sir. You mentioned the princess? I told you I'm not interested in talking to strangers. Okay, that sounds a little better, but still pretty bad. Excuse me again, sir. You mentioned the princess? I told you I'm not interested in talking to strangers. Will you marry me? Determined to learn more about the strange man's relationship with the princess, Alexander shows the man his insignia ring and formally introduces himself. I'm sorry to insist, but my name is Alexander of Daventry, and I appreciate the offer of the ring, Alexander, but I'm afraid I'm already spoken. Daventry? Where have I heard of Daventry? Flying flipmice, you must be Prince Alexander. Cosima told me about you when she arrived home. How came you here? Well, by a ship now wrecked on the sand. But you know Cosima? She truly spoke of me? Yes, I saw her briefly when she first returned home. She mentioned the prince to me, Prince Alexander of Daventry. I'm afraid that was before she was told about her parents' deaths. You see, she arrived home a few weeks too late. The king and queen thought they'd never see her again. It's said they died of heartbreak. I'm afraid she's blamed herself. What a terrible homecoming. If only we'd known. Terrible indeed, poor thing. Everyone in the kingdom seems to despair with her these days. The streets are silent. Where is she now? The princess is sequestered in mourning. It's a rather dated tradition, and not required, but the vizier said she insisted out of respect. I see. You've yet to say who you are, and how you know the princess. Pardon me. My name's Jollo. I'm clown to the royal court, and I have been since the marriage of Cosima's parents, King Califim and Queen Ilaria. Ah, those were happy days. A pair of them were so full of joy in life, so in love. And Cosima's birth, it would have been hard to explain how long they'd waited, how they'd hoped for a child. She was such a charming little thing, smart as a whip, kind, sweet. Sorry. She means everything to this kingdom, Alexander, and to me. I'm so terribly worried about her. About her grief over her parents, you mean? Well, the truth is, I don't trust the vizier, nor his plans for Cosima. I'm still living at the castle of the crown as court clown, his clown, but it's more to keep my ear to the ground than out of loyalty. I wish I knew what the princess thinks these days. If I could only find Sing Sing, Cosima's pet nightingale, I might be able to send the princess a message. As it is, I must wait for the end of her seclusion. I have a feeling that she didn't request the seclusion. Now, I'm afraid I must hurry back to the castle. I'll try to return to the bookshop again later. Thanks for speaking with me, Jollo. I hope we meet again soon. I know that was a really ridiculous voice, but it's actually a lot worse, the voice version of the game is way more strange and annoying than that. So I was trying to tone it down a little bit. But it looks like we're super way out of time, so in the next one we'll continue. We'll probably go to the pawn shop. Until then, my name's Paul Brookins. Like this video and subscribe if you like what I'm doing. And comment if you have anything to tell me. Until then, we'll see you next time.